Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and welcome to Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So for our practice today, I've simply called it a twisting practice. Just some twisting poses. Twisting is really great for your low back, for your hips, and your spine. And it just gives you a little bit more flexibility and mobility in your torso, and also the lower half of the body. So some twisting postures. Let me show you some of the props that we're going to be using. Nothing different, all the same here. Just a nice soft blanket or cushion or blanket, or or a towel that you can sit on and kneel on just to protect your knees and your hands and wrists. I've got my yoga blocks here. You will probably need something like a yoga block, something that we will use in our twisting practice. Now you could use a hardbound book, but it might be a little too heavy. So if you don't have a nice softer and lighter yoga block, which you can use, I just pulled out just a small pillow. You can use that too, okay? And a small pillow can be used for our soft flow practice in lots of ways, and we can use it in our twisting. So if you happen to have something a little softer that you want to use either to sit on or for our twisting, go ahead and grab that. The yoga blocks will be just fine. And then of course a nice big cushion or pillow. This is my yoga bolster, and you can use that for your Shavasana practice. Let's begin in seated. So do feel free to sit on your pillow, blanket, or towel. Sit up nice and tall, very comfortable as you can. You can cross your legs here. I like to cross my legs in half lotus. You can sit like this if you like, or just easy pose, just crossing at the ankles or shins. If you need to extend a leg or both, you can do that. If you need a little extra back support, feel free to sit in a chair or on the floor up against a wall. So as you find yourself in your seated position, we'll begin with our breathing meditation. You can do this with eyes opened if you'd like, just taking a soft gaze forward or even down at the floor, or just simply close your eyes. And as you close your eyes or keep eyes open with a soft gaze, tune into your breathing. You might start with some steady breaths and breathe in a way where you can feel your breath. I'm going to breathe in so you can really feel perhaps the breath rising upward and expanding and opening your lungs. So that might require a full inhale. And feel that expansiveness in the chest region. Now when you exhale, connecting to your center. We do that by drawing the navel inward towards your spine. We call that the abdominal lock, or Uddiyana Bandha in Sanskrit. Just a light contraction of the abdominal muscles, and that doesn't have to be forced at all. Just feel as if you're just kind of pulling inward. That's all it takes. So again, an inhale to feel breath rising upward, filling up your lungs. You might even find that you're sitting up a little taller, more length in your spine. And your exhale to connect to center. And do that a few more times. Also breathing so you can hear your breath. So if you need to, just turn up the volume of your breath. And just drawing your attention inward. This is also a good opportunity to set a personal intention for your practice. Again, we'll be working on twisting, and twisting can have many meanings. We talked about some of the physical and practical ways that the body can be improved while doing twisting, or how it can benefit while doing twisting postures. But you can also think of twisting as a way of wringing out, cleansing, healing. So if there's something inside of you, it could be a thought, even a feeling, a belief system, that you would like to just release or begin the process of releasing, twisting in yoga can be that guide. All right, take 3 more breaths here in stillness, and we'll start our moving meditation. So a very simple movement. Whenever you're ready to move, Inhale and extend your arms out across the room. Reach and extend and just let your arms go all the way up. Good energy and strong straight arms if you're able. Then as you exhale, extend your arms out and feel as if you're going to touch the walls on either side of you. Finishing the exhale with the arms coming back down by your side. And do that again at your own pace. Inhale, reaching out. Again, good energy in the arms, hands even right through the fingertips, reaching for the ceiling. And exhale, reaching out. Strong, straight line through the arms, bringing them back down by your side. Now go ahead and continue to move and breathe at your own pace. So you might be going a little slower than me or faster than me. That's all good. Eyes can remain closed if they're closed, or you might open your eyes. But just focusing still on the energy and flow of the breath. And now this new energy of moving the arms out and up and back down. Noticing the sensations in your body, your shoulders in motion as your arms are in motion. Even the lengthening through the sides of your body. When you reach up towards the ceiling, maybe a little extra reach upward to get that extra length. Since we'll be twisting, we do want a lot of space down through the sides of the body. Now go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. Again, just moving at your own pace, certainly no rush. Nice. And when you're complete, just hold in stillness for a moment, letting your arms and your shoulders relax. Take a couple of deep breaths. Let's start with a gentle twist. I'm going to use one of my blocks here and just placing it on my right side here. So my right hand's on the block. Just sitting up as tall as I can, extending left arm out to the left side of the room, palm forward. Inhale, feel tall, even feel like there's a string attached to your skull and drawing you upward. When we exhale, it's going to rotate, okay, and the arm kind of comes around until you just feel like the torso just naturally stops. And then just bring this left arm around and just hold on to the right knee or thigh and just hold in place for a few breaths. With each inhale, just continue to feel yourself sitting up a little taller, imagining more space is being created along the spinal column. With the exhale, just gently draw belly in. Another thing that's happening when we exhale, especially in a twist, we're engaging and working the obliques, the side portions of the abdominal system, getting them stronger, more conditioned, more flexible. All right, breathe in nice and tall right where you are. Exhale, just start to turn to face forward, and we'll release this left hand. And just bring both hands back to your knees or thighs. Just hold for a moment so everything comes back to neutral. Just a gentle introduction to some twisting. And we'll do the other side. So left hand on your block. We'll take the right arm out to the side, palm forward. Inhale, feel as tall as can be. Exhale, pull belly in. Start to rotate your torso until it just naturally stops. Continue with this right arm coming across the body and just bring it to the outer knee or thigh. Now I had you extend your arm outward first before you rotate it so you can really benefit from rotating the torso using your own muscles rather than placing the hand here first and pulling yourself into the pose. Again, a couple more breaths. Inhale to feel tall and lengthened and light. The exhale, drawing belly in, and just notice if you have sensation in the sides, near your ribs perhaps. 2 more breaths. And we'll take a third inhale, feel very tall. Exhale, turn forward, releasing the hand from the thigh, both hands on knees. Take a deep breath or 2 to come back to neutral. Let's take a mild back bend. Still seated, bring the hands behind you, maybe propped up onto your fingertips. Arms back behind you, and that should draw the shoulders back, and maybe a little extra effort of bringing the shoulders back. We're going to tip the chin up just a little bit, not too much where you feel a strain in the neck. So we're creating a mild back bend. Let's take a breath. You'll inhale, press into the ground with the fingertips, feel energy in the arms. Again, breath rising to fill up your lungs. Very expansive. You might even really feel that across the collarbones. Exhale, draw belly in, connecting to center, engaging the abdominal lock. Again, inhale, pressing into the ground, energy in the arms. Fill up your lungs, hear your breath. Exhale, draw belly in, and as you're able, squeezing shoulder blades together behind you, just creating a little bit more sensation in the body. Engaging the upper back. Take a few more breaths and just notice what's happening in the body. What do you feel? Yoga is all about bringing your full awareness to yourself, deep connections within, tapping into a lot of the subtleties of the body that we often miss. Go ahead and lower your chin here, looking forward. Walk your hands toward yourself. So you're sitting up nice and tall, and again, you can just bring your hands to your lap. Even shake out the shoulders if they need a little extra release. Take a breath. Since that was our back bend, we'll now take our forward fold. I usually like to choose a different leg posture here, cobbler's pose or bound angle. So I've uncrossed the legs, placing the soles of the feet together, and knees will be bent and open out to the sun. Now you can see there's a gap or a space between my leg and the floor. That's fine. But if you would like a little extra padding or support, maybe place a couple of blocks or books or those soft pillows, small pillows, just tucked underneath the legs so that you are resting right there. Hold on to your ankles or shins. Inhale so you can feel the full extension of the spine. As you exhale, draw belly in for support and movement of the body as you hinge forward just a tiny bit, and you're leading with your heart and chin. And you can notice I didn't really move too far, and that's really the workings of our soft flow. Just taking our time, moving as slowly as we can, holding positions for a little longer than usual, but certainly at a place where we don't feel overwhelmed or strained while we're in the pose. So you might even want to dial back your postures, maybe to a 60 or 70%. I'm going to hinge forward a tiny bit more. I still have some length in the spine. I feel some opening in the inner legs. You're certainly welcome to lower your chin or even round your back a little bit. That might provide a little bit more space for you to fold a little deeper without compromising the sensation of only working at 60 or 70%. With the back rounded, you might feel muscles stretching a little bit in the back, which might feel very good. Just go ahead and take 3 more breaths. If the back is rounded, we're just going to lift the chin a little bit so the neck is in the same alignment as the spine. You may use your hands on the floor here to assist your own body, hinging back up until you're nice and tall in your seat. And again, we'll just hold for a moment, just take a breath or two. And let's move our props out of the way and just carefully manipulate yourself so that you're on your hands and knees. Here's where you might want to use your cushion, your blanket or towel. I like to unfold mine so I can place my hands here at the top and knees at the bottom of our rectangle. And just hold here in a tabletop position just for a moment. Nice long neck. Your gaze is directly downward, maybe between your thumbs. And then we'll start with cat and cow. Cow is the first pose, which is an inhale, or it's a back bend where you lift the head, send the heart forward. There's an arch in the back like a back bend, and the pelvis tips back. Exhale, let's tuck the chin in towards chest, let the back round. Pull belly button up towards spine to feel that core engagement, and the pelvis or tailbone kind of tucks underneath.
And then reverse it. Inhale, tip the pelvis back, feel the belly drop, create that U shape or bowl shape in the back like a back bend. Heart opens, look forward. And exhale, round it all out. And just go at your own pace. I'm going pretty slowly here, but you can go a little faster than this. Just as long as you can feel this undulation of the spine. This is really nice. We're doing a lot of spinal work today, actually, because we're doing twisting. So we're rotating side to side, and then we've got these kind of motions, back bends and forward folds, just to get that other movement of the spine. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take one more. And when you're complete, just hold in stillness in this tabletop position for a moment. And if you are using a pad, let's go ahead and crawl off the pad and just set it to the side. We'll get set up for our downward facing dog. We're going to come back out to hands and knees. But this time, step the hands forward a little bit so that your hands are out from underneath your shoulders. Spread out your fingers pretty wide so you can feel a stretch between each finger, just in the webbings there. Press the palms firmly, flat, into the mat. Strong pressure into the earth. So you feel the strength in your arms are nice and straight, and you're also opening the palms. Tuck your toes under. And then we'll inhale to cow, that's the back bend we just did, and exhale into cat. Hold cat pose at rounded spine sensation. Pull belly button up towards spine. From here, lift your knees off the mat. Send your hips into the air. You might need to tiptoe forward once or twice, just so that you feel secure in this upside down position. Keep a good bend in your knees. That way you can send your hips up a little higher. At the same time, press your hands a little bit more firmly into the ground. Feel the strength in your arms. And then relax your head. Sometimes we hold stress in the head and neck. So just shake it out. Just be sure you're letting that tension go. Now we're going to step forward a few times until perhaps we're standing in the center of the mat, just until your feet are flat on the mat. And then slide your fingers toward your toes. You'll be in a forward fold briefly. Now inhale and slide your hands up to your shins or knees and extend your spine so you're long and flat, resembling a table. Exhale, we'll fold and bend just a little bit, not too far. We're going to stand up here. You're going to shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees. Feel like you're going to sit down. If you can or want to, you can actually bring your hands up to your thighs. If you kind of press into the thighs lightly, you can extend your spine. Feel like you're coming forward, so your back is nice and flat. And then drive the heels into the floor, energizing the legs so you can stand up. Straightening the legs, you'll feel the pelvis kind of push forward. Let's finish the straightening of the body by extending the arms straight up into the air. That's it. Then exhale, bring your arms down to your side. We'll hold here for a second in stillness and mountain pose. Take a breath. And then feel free to shake it all out. Shoulders. I like to kind of circle my elbows, wrists, and wiggle the fingers. You can even work down the body if you need to. Alrighty, now we're going to do that same flow. Starting in mountain pose, flow to a forward fold, and then carefully come back up. That's our half salute to the sun. So starting in mountain pose, relax your shoulders. Gaze is forward. Then inhale, extend the arms out and up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bring them out to the side. Bend your knees and send your hips back to the back end of your mat, imagining you're sitting into a chair that's behind you. Slowly fold. Let your arms relax. Maybe they'll land at your shins. You don't have to do a complete fold here. You might touch your toes, but you don't have to. Now, slide your hands up to your shins or knees. Extend the spine. We're going to hold here this time, holding the flat back as you exhale. Nice tabletop. You're horizontal to the ground. Belly button's pulling up towards spine. Just notice what's happening in the legs here, too. Probably some energy there because your hamstrings and thighs really are helping you to hold this posture. A slight shift of weight back into the heels. Bend your knees just a little. Bring your hands up to your thighs. press lightly into the thighs to help you extend your spine. Hold there if you're able. Spread your wings. Drive the heels into the floor, standing up nice and tall. We're just realigning the body and also extending the spine by reaching into the sky. Then exhale, arms return to your side. Good. So we're really going slowly in these fluid movements, and that's our intention. All right, we're going to do a variation of a warrior one, which is a lunge, and we're going to add something to it. Actually, we're going to turn it into a twist, a light twist. So once again, starting in mountain pose, relax your shoulders. We also want to put a softness in the knees, so put a slight bend in your knees. Shifting your weight now into your right foot, so you feel the extra pressure in the right foot. Lean forward just a tiny bit. Your toes, your right foot will grip the mat. This will lighten the left side so you can actually tap or step the left foot back. Again, just back until it just kind of naturally stops. You're on your toes, heel is lifted. Hold that for a second just to stretch the toes. And then pivot or turn the leg so you can plant the heel into the floor, shifting your weight back so you're centered right here. So we have a little distance between the feet, but not much. All right, place your hands on your hips. You're going to push your pelvis down while extending the spine, creating a lot of space kind of in this low belly area and low back area so that you can turn to face forward. Now let's do a couple things. First, we're going to inhale, take the arms straight up into the air. Then as you exhale, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. We're going to hold here for a couple breaths. Deep, expansive breaths, filling up your lungs. We're going to turn this into a twist in a moment. One more breath right here. Listen carefully and follow along. We're going to inhale and shoot the arms straight up. With the exhale, just your right arm is going to come down. I'm bringing it down to my right hip. I'm going to turn to face you so you can kind of see this, okay? So hand on hip, but kind of behind you. Can you see I'm just kind of swinging my elbow kind of behind me? So that's where the placement of the hand is. And that same sensation of kind of pushing downward, okay? Pushing pelvis downward. Now this left arm that's in the air, you're going to bring it, you're going to swing it over towards the right side of the room. And if you can, just let it land on this right leg. It might be up your upper thigh. It could be your hip. Now we're still facing forward. We're going to inhale, get nice and tall, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, rotate the torso towards the right side of the room. Now you may not turn all the way to the right. I'm only turned a bit at a corner, to the corner here of the room. But there is a definite rotation that's happening. It's just not very deep, and it doesn't have to be deep. Plus, we're in a lunge, and so you may not rotate very far. A couple of deep breaths here. One more. To come out of the pose, we're going to swing this left arm out and up into the air, rotating the torso so you're facing forward. And bring the left hand down and just finishing the circle basically, and bring it to your left hip, back here. We're going to lean forward, putting pressure into the right foot so we can step forward right there, feet together. Let's release the hands, extend the arms straight up into the sky, re-extending the spine. Exhale, arms return to your side. All right, so our variation of Warrior One, and we added a twist. All right, same thing other side. Softness in the knees. Shift weight into left foot, pressure into the ground, lean forward, let those left set of toes grip the mat so we can easily tap the right foot back, find the natural stop, hold here, toes flexed, heel lifted, pivot or turn the leg, plant the heel into the floor, shift the body weight back so you're planted on 2 feet. Hands on hips, push pelvis down as you feel tall in the torso, inhale. Exhale, turn to face mostly forward. So same direction as the left knee and toes. Here comes the arms. Inhale, reach out and up. Straight line through the arms. Exhale, bend elbows to 90 degrees, facing forward for several breaths. Nice expansive breaths here. Again, feel the breath. Fill up your lungs. And hear the breath. One more full breath in and out while still in stillness. Ready to twist. Inhale, shoot the arm straight up. Now the exhale, just the left arm is going to come down to left hip and then slightly to the back. And we're pushing down. We're trying to create as much space as we can in that low back. Now this right arm is going to drop over towards the left side of the room and come down to left thigh or whatever it can touch here. Inhale, get as tall as you can. Exhale, start to rotate or turn a bit to your left. Again, it doesn't have to be very far. And just notice it may not turn a whole lot at all, and that's fine. But we still want to create as much space as we can. So this left hand on the hip is really actively pushing downward while the torso is still lifting upward, so I can hold the rotation without any binding in the back. Coming out of the pose now, let's swing that right arm back up towards ceiling, turning to face forward. Finish the circle with that right arm, bring it to your right hip. We'll lean forward, put weight into the left foot, step forward, feet together. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up into the air, nice straight line. Exhale, arms come down to your side. Very nice. Feel free to shake things out if you want. You can even get a sip of water if you need to. And we'll get ready for a nice flow here, getting into our lunge sequence. We are doing our second variation of Warrior One. Let me quickly adjust my mat. And let's meet together in mountain pose. Relax shoulders, arms down by your side, gaze is forward. Here we go. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back slowly into the imaginary chair. Arms are coming down, you're starting to fold forward. You might touch your toes, just bend your knees a whole lot more, or hands might land at your shins. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs a little bit to help extend the spine. Create that tabletop feeling. Exhale, bend your knees a whole lot. Let the hands just slide down the legs, low enough until your hands can come to the ground. And then carefully step both feet back, all the way back to the back end of your mat. You'll be on your toes, and then just align the body so you're in a straight line for plank pose. We're going to bend the knees a little here, like you're going to kneel down, but then send your hips right away up towards the ceiling. You might need to step the feet forward a few times to fully arrive in the pose and it feels comfortable. Remember to release any tension in the head and neck. Press firmly into the ground with the hands so you have nice strong arms, especially for this next bit of the flow. We're going to inhale, pick up the right foot and extend the right leg back behind you. It doesn't have to lift high. As you exhale, bend the right knee a whole lot. Bring that knee in underneath you towards your chest as you shift your whole upper body forward. And just notice, you'll want your shoulders to be over the wrist. And then just set the right foot down. Doesn't matter where it lands, just somewhere on the floor. And then we'll set the left knee onto the floor. This will take some of the pressure off the hands because we're going to take the right hand, go get the right foot, pick it up, and place it near the top of the mat or near right hand. We're going to re-lift the left knee. Now we've got more distance between the feet, ready for our Warrior One lunge. Pivot or turn left heel to the floor. I'm going to walk my hands back a little bit, rising up to fingertips, so I do have more pressure in that back foot. Take the time to extend the spine, long out over right thigh. Now an inhale, float the arm, or hinge your way up, taking arms out to the side, then up into the air. We'll keep them straight. Finish with the exhale. Here's our Warrior One. Now we're not going to twist this pose, but we're going to hold our Warrior One, just feeling some hip flexor release, strength in the legs, and a lengthening through the sides of the body. We'll breathe in. I'm going to exhale and carefully turn the torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. Let's check in with the alignment of the right knee. Make sure it's still pointing directly forward. Take a look at it. Sometimes it likes to dip to the inside, and I even noticed mine did a little bit. And so just making sure it stays aligned nicely there for the hip release. Side angle, follow the right arm forward to angle the upper half of the body, and then we'll rotate the arms. And the left hand or arm can rest here on the thigh. We don't have to go down too low. While the left hand reaches straight up initially. Once it's at 12 o'clock, just reach up a little extra. And maybe over your head a little bit. Maybe the arm comes a little closer towards your ear.
and then reach a little bit more so we get more of that side stretch. Couple breaths. All right, we're going to inhale right where we are. Exhale, turn your torso so you can face the floor. Fold and bend carefully. Hands out in front, hands to the ground to catch you. Rise up on your tiptoes behind you so you're in this runner's lunge. Pressure into the floor with the hands, strong arms, so we can slide the right foot back to meet the other, or return to plank pose. See if you can hold here for strength, at least for a breath. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the sky. Downward facing dog. Tiptoe forward as needed. Press firmly into the ground with the hands. Then we're going to lift the left leg. So an inhale, pick up the left foot, extend the leg back, energetically reach to the back wall. Exhale, bend this left knee, bring it in underneath you, shifting forward, knee towards chin or chest, shoulders over the wrists, set the left foot down. Set the right knee down. Soften the hands a little bit. Let's go get that left foot. This is just in case you couldn't step all the way up to the top of the mat on your own. This is just a nice little variation. Lifting the right knee, we'll pivot right heel to the floor behind you. Walk back with the hands, rise up onto fingertips. Make sure there's good pressure in that back foot. Elongate through the spine. Flat back over the left thigh. Inhale, hinge from hips, rising up. Arms out and up into the air, arriving in Warrior One. Now I notice I'm in a very deep lunge here, okay? You may not be as wide for you, okay? But it's certainly wider than the first variation. Let's breathe in. Then exhale, let's turn the torso towards the right side of the room. Arms come down to parallel. Right here. And then our side angle, reaching forward, angled upper body, rotate the arms. Left hand or left arm can come to the thigh, while right hand reaches straight up. Inhale to reach right up towards the ceiling for a little extra stretch. And then you can take this right arm overhead, arm a little closer to the ear, reaching outward, more length through the right side body. Here we go. We're going to breathe in, ready to move. Exhale, carefully turn and fold. Hands out there to catch yourself. Rise up onto your tiptoes as our runner's lunge. Press the palms firmly into the ground, strong straight arms, so you can slide the left foot back, plank, hold, and then we'll bring knees to the floor. All right, sit back briefly in hero pose. Sit off to the side so you can swing the legs around to the front. Then sit in the center of your mat. Make sure you have your blocks nearby. We're going to move into our bridge pose just for a little bit of a back bend. So we've got our blocks. And then roll down onto your back. You can draw the legs or knees in towards your chest. We're going to do a few things here. Let's start with our back bend. Go ahead and set your feet onto the floor. Make sure you can grab your blocks. Inhale. Fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty the belly, lifting hips into the sky, just high enough so you can slide your books or blocks underneath you. And then you're going to sit. Okay? Make sure they're in a good spot, if they feel secure. Even make some adjustments with your feet. And once you feel settled, just relax here. And just take some deep breaths. A little bit of opening through the front body. Nice expansive breaths, even a restful moment. Very nice. Go ahead and just take 3 more breaths. Take your time with this. And then just soften, just relax. Let's get ready to re-engage so we can come out of the back bend. Just press the feet into the floor, lifting the hips so you can slide the blocks out from underneath you and just make your way down to the earth.
Now you might want to keep those blocks handy. And maybe you've got that soft pillow, I think, or the small pillow. I'm going to grab my pillow and have it nearby as well. Because we're going to do a twist here. But first, let's extend the body. Extend the legs out front. Reach your arms behind you if you got some room. And extend, active reaching in these opposite directions. Just creating a little bit more length in the spine, especially after doing a back bend. Now we're going to twist. We're going to bring the knees, both knees into chest. Just catch your knees or shins with your hands. All right, we're going to take a twist to the left side. So send both knees over to the left side. Now you might be able to take the left leg all the way down to the floor, but that might feel like an over rotation. That's where the books and blocks can come in handy. I'm going to take one of my blocks, place it underneath the left leg, kind of propped up, and that will lessen the degree of rotation. And then I'm going to place the pillow between the knees, just something soft, just in case the legs don't touch, because they don't have to touch, but maybe something soft in between them would feel good. Now, as the knees go to the left, your right arm can extend to the right. And then we can have a nice, relaxing, twisting position. Modify it a little bit in case you need less of a rotation by using a book or block and something soft between the knees. Just like our other rotations, we're not really twisting very far. But because of the nature of this pose, the legs could go all the way down to the floor, but it may not feel very good. It kind of pulls you into the posture. So the props help you to soften it up. Okay, let's remove the soft pillow between the knees if you're using one. Let's bring the knees back up to center. A light hug. A breath or two. Let's just get set up for the other side. So I'm going to take my knees over to the right. Again, I'm going to use my block because my right leg might not touch the floor, but it'll land on the block, easing that rotation. And just placing that cushion or another block between the knees. It can even be your blanket or towel, okay? Just something soft. I think it just feels nice. It won't have anything, solid between the knees there. And then just relax, take a few breaths. Some of these holding postures, you don't have to think about doing anything. The body is doing what it needs to do. Just hold in stillness, be in the moment, take deep breaths. Very relaxing. Let's take 2 more breaths here. All right, let's remove our props. Come back to center. Gentle hug of the knees in towards chest. And we're going to come up to seated. Now you can rock your way up to a seated position or roll to your side first, which I'm doing now, pressing yourself up into a seat. And once you're seated here, we're going to make our way back to hands and knees. Okay, just swing the legs back behind you. Come to hands and knees just so that we can take 3 breaths, cat and cow. Again, we did a twist, so that rotation of the spine, and now an undulation of the spine in this direction. Take your time with this. Just 3 breaths. Finishing in a tabletop position. Return to down dog. You're going to step your hands forward, spread out your fingers, plant the hands firmly into the ground, strong straight arms, tuck your toes, a quick cat and cow, 1 cow, that's the back bend. Exhale, cat, lift the knees, lift the hips, tiptoe forward slightly, downward facing dog, soft knees, firm hands, loose neck. Step the feet forward to the center of your mat. Flat feet, slide the fingers towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs until you're halfway lifted or halfway folded. Hold here for a moment. Nice elongation through the spine. Shifting weight into the heels. Bend your knees, perhaps hands on thighs to ensure that your spine is straight. And then drive heels into the floor. Stand up tall. Let's extend the arms all the way up into the air. Yes. And then arms down to your side. And shake it out as you like. All right. Let's do a chair pose with a twist. Now, this is where either the block, if you've got a light block to place between the thighs to hold on to, or use something softer. It could be a rolled up towel, like a hand towel even, or even just your cushion. I'm just going to use the cushion here. Just between the thighs, so you can gently squeeze to center. It'll just keep the hips aligned here as well. Let's inhale, extend the arms into the sky. I'm just going to turn sideways. Exhale, take chair pose. Sitting back into the imaginary seat, bring hands to heart center. Now, I haven't sat very deeply, and you don't have to. You could sit back and down further, something like this. But for soft flow, you can even just be at more of a mild sensation. Inhale and just get a little bit more extension in the spine. You're going to exhale and twist to your right. To your right. So that means your left elbow will start to point towards the floor. And again, a light rotation, just like the other rotations. You want to feel some energy in the hips, as if you're reaching back through the hips and tailbone to the back of the room or the back edge of your mat. Meanwhile, the crown of your head is still pointing directly forward. Okay, if you just turned your head and looked down, you want to see yourself aligned between the feet. Okay, and the head is straight out in front. Just be aware if you're turned at an angle. Okay? We're just turning along this axis so we can really benefit from the rotation. We're going to inhale right where we are. Exhale, unwind. Hands on thighs. Press into the thighs to help you stand. Once again, you can take the arms up into the air. Exhale, arms come back down to your side. Just rest here for a moment. Let me just show you something. So here's my chair pose, and here's my rotation. Okay? So hopefully my head is still pointing directly towards you. What we don't want to do is turn. Okay? That's a different feeling here. Okay, so everything stays in this plane and rotate on this axis. Or let's do the other side. Inhale, reach into the sky. Nice stretch, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, take your chair pose as you're taking your seat. Bring hands to heart center. Keep it high if you'd like, or a little lower if you'd like. We're breathing in, more extension through the spine. Exhale, pull belly in, even squeeze the pillow or block, whatever you're using, and rotate now to the left. Rotating on that axis. And the energy of the hips reaching to the back edge of your mat. Wherever your crown is pointing, that's where you're going. Okay? If you want to turn your head to look down, just being sure you're still aligned between the feet and not out to the corner of your mat. Okay, we're going to move, breathe in, and exhale, unwind. Place hands on thighs. Push into the thighs to help you stand. Just a little self-assist, taking the arms all the way up into the air. Exhale, arms come back down to your side. Very nice. Okay, let's remove our prop from the legs here. We're done with that for now. Back to our mountain pose. We're going to flow, make our way back down to the earth. I've got another rotation for us. Let's inhale, reach into the sky. Always extending through the spine. Exhale, swan dive, or bend your knees, sit back into the imaginary chair, slowly fold. Arms are coming down. Maybe they land at your shins or ankles, maybe touching toes. Just bend your knees more. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs, extending the spine, long, flat back. As we exhale, bend your knees a whole lot more. Relax the head and neck. Let the back round, low enough to bring palms to the floor. Step the feet back. Take your time. Plank pose. Draw the straight line in the spine. Breathe in. Mirror energy in the strong arms. Exhale, bend the knees. Send hips up into the air. Tiptoe forward a bit. Hips high. Downward facing dog. Hold. 2 breaths. Then we'll gently set the knees onto the floor. If you need some padding underneath the knees, bring in your blanket or towel. I'm going to stay like this. We're going to do thread the needle. And actually, I am going to bring my towel in, but I'm going to bring it to the top end of my mat because the arm is going to come to the floor. So let's start in our tabletop and work with me as we get things set up. We're going to start by stepping the left hand forward, okay, like you're crawling. Just step the left hand forward a little bit, and then off to the left side a little bit, not far. Look at your middle finger. It's pointing towards the 12 on an imaginary clock. You're going to turn it inward, so the middle finger is now pointing towards the 1 on a clock. Lean into that left hand. Now, inhale, take your right arm out to the right side of the room. A little propeller-like feeling. Exhale, we're going to thread the needle. So this right arm is going to come down and behind the left arm. The left elbow is going to bend to about 90 degrees. As you're able, bring the whole right arm to the floor. Now, I'm a little stiff today. I don't think I can get my shoulder all the way down to the floor. So what can I do to modify that? I'm going to bring in my pillow. Okay. My twist, especially to my left side, as of recent days, my left side has been a little stiff. And so my rotations have to be very, very mild. So actually this pillow I brought in has helped. So I can bring my shoulder right down to that cushion to complete the pose. Now we still want to feel active in the hips, just like in the chair pose that we twisted. Send the hips back towards the back ends of the mat. It'll help to elongate through the spine, make space in the spinal column even though it's rotated. This is our thread the needle pose. 2 more breaths. Now to get out of the posture, because of this right angle formation of this left arm and the left palm is on the floor, push into the ground to lift yourself up. Unwind. I'm spinning my left hand so it's neutral again. And extend the right arm out to the right side. Finishing, bring the hand to the floor. Finishing with that pillow there. Okay, let's get off the hands for a moment. As you're able, sit back briefly. In hero, let's add something here if you're able. Okay, you can do a full hero or what I call half hero, where you're just tucked onto your toes and just something like this with hands can still get off the ground. Okay, either one should work here. I'm going to stay like this. If you can stay in full hero, do that. I'll stay in half hero. I'm going to bring my block over to my left side here, just to give me a little lift, as if my hand is on the floor, okay? I'm going to take my right arm just to the outer left knee here. Inhale, just extend spine. Exhale, rotate on this axis, okay, to the left. All right, just like we just did. We did our thread the needle, we twisted to the left. Now we're in our hero pose, or half hero, twisting to the left. Okay, let me just sit back fully in full hero. And so it might be something like this. 1 more breath. Okay, we'll go ahead and unwind. Okay, let's come back out to hands and knees. If you were sitting fully in full hero like this, what you may want to do is actually tuck your toes and kind of sit back. A little pressure just to stretch out the toes if you'd like. Okay, and let's get set up for the other side. Here's our tabletop, ready for our twist. We're going to step the right hand forward a little bit. Send your right hand off to the right side a little bit. Turn the palm in so your middle finger is pointing towards the 11 on the imaginary clock. Lean into the right hand so you can pick up the left arm, extend it out to the left side like an airplane wing. Exhale, thread the needle. Left arm behind the right arm as that right arm bends to 90 degrees. Now I think on this side I am able to bring that shoulder right down to the floor with no problem. Or bring in a cushion, pillow, or block if you need a little extra lift if that shoulder doesn't make it to the floor. Now the spine is obviously rotated, but to make sure there's less compression, feel as if you're sending your hips to the back of the room. I think I am going to still use this cushion. just to lighten that rotation, because it seems pretty significant, especially for soft flow. Maybe just use props so you don't feel over-rotated. That would be my suggestion. Again, hips are reaching back, keeping space between the spine, all the vertebrae here, rotating on this axis for 2 more breaths. Your right palm is on the floor, right arm is near a right angle, which is going to help you leverage yourself out of the pose. And let's do that now. Press into the floor with the right hand so you can lift, unwind. I'm going to get my right hand back to a neutral place and then take the left arm out to the left side and then back down to the floor. We have one more twist to do. Let's sit back fully in hero, okay, just to get off the hands, or to half hero, again getting off the hands. And we're going to twist to the right. Now, if your hand reaches the floor, just place your fingers on the floor if they reach, or bring in a block or two if you need a little lift. Nice long spine, whatever angle you're in. If you're here, nice flat back, or here in the full hero, nice and tall. Take left hand, place it on outer right knee or thigh. Inhale, your crown is going forward, okay, in the forward direction. Exhale, rotate on that axis to the right. Again, not very far. Just notice how this feels. It does feel different, especially if you're in half hero compared to full hero. It is a different sensation. You might want to play with both if you're able, okay? Because it's slightly different. In the full hero, because I'm nice and tall, I can turn a little bit deeper without any problem. At the angle, just because of the formation of the pelvis and hips and everything, and the weight of the body too, it just feels slightly different. And there seems to be more core engagement, mainly because we have to use core to help support our bodies. All right, let's unwind. If you were sitting back in that full hero, let's come back out to hands and knees, tuck toes, sit back. Take a little stretch for the toes. All right, let's lie on our backs. Moving props out of the way, but keep some handy that you think you might use. Sit in the center of your mat. Let's get the legs out front. Sitting in the center, roll back, hug knees in. Maybe a little massage here. We're going to do our same spinal twist that we did earlier. You can use those same props, blocks and pillows and blankets if you want. Again, we'll start by taking knees to the left. Use a block underneath that left leg if you need that support. A rolled up towel or a cushion between the knees. Right arm extends to the right. We're not going to stay here too long. Just some deep breaths, because I want to give you some time to lie flat in Shavasana. But maybe for these next couple poses, just going back to your personal intention and what twisting is offering you and what you're asking of your twisting practice. 2 more breaths. And let's make our way back to center. We'll hold center for a moment. Maybe your twisting practice was simply about the physicality of your body, just getting more mobility in your torso and hips. Let's take the knees over to the right side. Use the props. Knees to the right, left arm to the left. Settle in. Or maybe you felt the power of the rotation, the twists, wringing out, cleansing, healing, letting go of those things that no longer serve you. It might be a thought, a feeling. Three more breaths. Let's make our way back to center. Hug the knees into chest. Just catch the knees or shins in your hands.
flex your feet, just activate the feet. Let's do happy baby pose, a variation. And we've been doing this lately. You're welcome to kick the feet up into the air, and that certainly is happy baby, but you can do this with just keep the legs kind of relaxed. Just keep the feet down, gently flex the feet, knees bent, taking the legs out to the side. And just getting that nice stretch in the inner legs. Always coming back to the breath. And just 2 more breaths here in this hip opener. When you're complete, just bring the knees together, set the feet onto the floor, extend the legs straight out in front of you, arms behind you for the active stretch. Deep breaths, maybe one more, lengthening. Exhale, and then we'll soften. Bring your arms down by your side. You might even flip the palms upward. Make sure the feet and legs relax, which will then relax the hips and low back. So we're just moving right into Shavasana. Now you're welcome to stay just like this, flat on your back. If you need cushioning for your head, maybe a pillow or towel or blanket underneath your head. If you need to elevate your legs, that's where your cushion, big pillow. Actually, I might do that today. Let's bring in my bolster just underneath my... Let's try something a little different. I'm just going to place them underneath my calves. So it just kind of elevates the legs a little bit. Yeah, that feels nice. If you have a little chill in the body, you might even just place a blanket over your body. You just want to feel comfortable for the next few minutes. Eyes can remain opened, or close your eyes as you journey inside. Always returning to the breath. If you find that you become lost in thought, that's okay. Just notice the thought, acknowledge the thought, and with an exhale, just set that thought to the side, wring it out. So that you can come back to this moment. Stay fully present as best as you can. While in Shavasana, you're certainly welcome to stay here as long as you like, even as I end the practice. And when it is time to move, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Excuse me. Feeling movement return to your body. And when you're ready, taking your time, slowly roll onto either side of your body, just into a nurturing pose. And slowly rise up to seated. Sitting on a pillow or blanket, Nice and tall. And your arms can relax down by your side, hands in your lap, or bring hands to heart center. Wherever they are, take one more breath. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.